everybody stand for the pledge. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome here, everybody, this fine Monday morning. Beautiful out. Chris, come on right up. Morning, Chris. No, son. I take it everybody's got Chris's report. I do. And you have a resolution under Highway Division, Chris.
Yeah, that's for shared services with the Department of Transportation for New York State DOT.
Just, did everybody get a copy of that? Want to explain what that is, Chris?
That's just, we do shared services with DOT. They plow and take care of Old Military Road, and then in turn we help out with some of the things that they need done during the summertime.
Okay. Somebody want to move that? Moved by George, second by Mike. Any discussion on that? Not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries. Anybody have any questions for Chris on Highway Division? Okay, we'll go on to Buildings and Grounds. Do you have anything extra on Buildings and Grounds, or just your report?
Just a report.
Anybody have any questions on Buildings and Grounds? Bill?
I just wonder where you stand on the site.
We're putting together a plan right now. We plan on starting before springtime on the site. We took your recommendations. We're going to take the bad pieces off, put new pieces on, and we're going right over it. And we're actually coming up with a plan right now to put guys on it and get started.
Joel, did you have your hand up too? Or no, Mike?
Yeah, I was in the office the other day, and either congratulate you or whoever redesigned the office, but it looks like it looks more professional and looks like it should work better. So
thank you.
Okay, that's it, Matt? Okay. Jail public safety. Anybody have any questions about the jail and public safety? Nothing extra on that, Chris?
No.
Solid waste, no report, but does anybody have any questions? Okay. Winging right through here. Fairgrounds. Anybody have any comments, questions on fairgrounds? Okay, I guess not.
I got one question.
Okay, Roby.
Chris, I saw a notice the other day were we looking for another maintenance person?
Yes.
Okay, what's that? What's the story with that?
We had a cleaner in the budget, which I didn't feel we needed another cleaner, so I sat with Dan and asked him if we could turn that into a maintenance person up to the public safety building.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah, well, we actually had two maintenance people in the budget that's, he has not filled, is held off filling until this time. One's on a long-term disability that he hasn't had for almost a year now, and the second one we held off filling, so I did tell him that honestly, down at the public safety building, he got down to, there's only two guys down there, and one was on vacation, one got sick, and the state police were out shoveling walks for themselves, so it got pretty critical, so I told him he needed to fill that.
Okay. Health and safety and codes. Anybody have any questions on that? Other than the report? No. Okay. Do you have anything extra for us, Chris, besides your report?
No.
Nobody has anything else for Chris? Okay. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.
Good work. Soil and water. Dave Reckon. Come on right up. Morning, Dave. Now, Dave's turned his report in. Do you have anything other than your report extra, Dave?
Just
Just a couple of things on, we completed we had quite an interest in the ag assessments that the Soil and Water District's involved with. We work each year together with the local assessors, and we work with the agricultural producers that qualify for the ag exemptions, and we have to file the soil group worksheets for those landowners. We've had quite a few new landowners involved and coming into some sort of agricultural assessment. There's a lot of them that have been started that are now claiming the assessment and able to qualify for the $10,000 per year. And we've also had a little bit of interest in several of these guys that are very new that are putting a huge investment into these agricultural operations to begin with. They actually qualify right off the bat, because we found out that if you're putting in 7 acres or more of Christmas trees, and if you're putting in 7 acres or more of vineyards, which a vineyard could be anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 per acre in investment in that operation to start off with, and you're pretty much guaranteed with that kind of a crop that you're going to eventually 3-4 years down the road, you're going to have a $10,000 per year income on it. So the state allows that landowner to get an exemption right away as soon as they're planted. Our trouble is a few of them are jumping the gun a little bit, and they're coming in to try to get an exemption, and they haven't planted them yet this spring, so they do not allow that yet. But once those operations are planted, these landowners do get an exemption. And it shows it's quite an investment in the community, and it's going to be quite an operation that'll bring an economic benefit back to the community. So we're seeing this in several instances. I actually have a landowner who's looking at putting in 113 acres of Christmas tree farm, so we're seeing quite an economic jump in some of these towns and communities for this benefit. And then, other than soil and water, the other thing is that we are working forward on the forestry. We have not done anything yet, other than we did close out the Keene sale is complete. The logger has completed it, they reviewed it, everything looks good. I guess at this point, once they come in and get it seeded and cleaned up in the springtime, then they'll review it on whether or not they get their deposits and things like that back. They have started, because during the winter time when the leaves are off the trees, and some of these areas where we didn't have a lot of big heavy snow, we were able to get in, and it's a good time to get in and check out the boundaries and stuff. And they got several of the parcels marked. Sometime over the next few months, they'll probably get after starting to do the timber sale in the town of Lewis that we talked about. That's all I have for updates.
Does anybody have questions for Dave? Mike?
Dave, do you ever get people inquiring about property to put in a vineyard?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, if they're to come onto that, we just saw something come out. If there are people that are inquiring about it, we actually have a new vineyard specialist through Cornell, and they sent us a sheet, and there's 4 new workshops that are going on, and there's some of them are in the Hudson Valley and some of them are here, and they kind of go back and forth. And one of them that's here, that's going to be on one of our new landowners, is planning on putting in 7 acres of vineyards this year over in Essex. They're actually going to have a site selection and what you do to get started with the vineyards. I think it would be a very good workshop for somebody that's really interested. And we've had a lot of interest. I know I had 3 or 4 years ago, I had a landowner right in Westport there on the lakeshore that put in 2 or 3 acres of vineyard. So far, we haven't had anybody that's gone into the wine business commercially yet in Essex County, but we do have several that are making wine, and some are just selling the grapes. But
I was just thinking about our airstrip on each side of one side of the airstrip is 30 acres of open field, and all we do is mow it, you know?
Right.
But it's wide open, you got the sun, you got the water.
Yep. as I say, you just have to get somebody in there with an investment, because it's quite an investment. The other thing that we've got going, that, for those of you that don't know this, the new investment that's going on is with the local breweries, is that we actually have a farm in Westport that has actually put in one of the first big hops plantations, and they are growing their own hops. And I'm working on a drainage plan for the brewery up in Keysville, and they're looking to put in the next year or so to put in hops. Again, it's similar to vineyards. By the time you put in the infrastructure for it and the plantings, you're talking an $8,000 or $10,000 per acre investment on that. But what New York State is doing is that if they grow their own materials or can find those materials within New York, they do not have to get a full liquor license. They get a farm brewing license, which is a much easier license, I don't think they have as many fees involved with it. So the idea is to get the crops grown at the local level, and that's promoting New York resources to use the local New York. And actually, this area was a big hops growing area back in I think the 17 and 1800s, when the Champlain Valley was a breadbasket of the United States. So hops is not a crop that doesn't grow well here. It's just that we just haven't done it in the past. And the trouble I've heard is that local breweries are having troubles finding hops, so it's a great opportunity. For anybody that's driven south towards Chestertown on the Northway, if you look real close on the right-hand side, there's two big hops yards. They put in one a couple years ago, and they just added to it again this year, so there's quite a bit of hops started in this area.
Okay, anybody have anything else? Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Before I adjourn, I just want to say one thing. I should have said it while Chris Carroll was up here. Chris Carroll, our DPW superintendent, and Kurt Basarab, our deputy DPW superintendent. We're very fortunate to have those two guys work for our county. I'll tell you right now, we were very lucky. They're both here this morning. Of course, Kurt wouldn't be here. Normally, Kurt wouldn't be here. But we had a meeting this morning early about some roads in our town and stuff, and they keep us right on top of things. So if you've got a problem in your town, don't forget, give them a call, because I guarantee you they will get right back to you. Thank you very much, you guys, for all your hard work. Appreciate it.
Great.
Thank you. If nothing else, we stand adjourned.